Perfectionism is a huge thing behind that when you're an entrepreneur, wanting everything to be perfect, driving everything to be perfect. I think that oftentimes leads to some self-sabotage where we think things aren't good enough or are never going to be good enough. Consistency is one thing, but perfectionism is another. So you can show up consistently and authentically, especially in the building phase. I think there are different phases to business, and I think that's very important in the building phase. Once you've built it to the level that you want, which I did get to, where I felt very comfortable, then I was able to find a balance. But I think the enemy is procrastination and perfectionism. Perfectionism will make you procrastinate and make you self-sabotage, and thinking that things aren't good enough will also sabotage your business. Put yourself out there authentically. Be as consistent as you possibly can, but do things when you're inspired. Create out of joy. If you're not creating your business out of joy, then maybe you need to rethink why you're in it to begin with. That's one thing I do tell a lot of my clients now.
It was, in fact, a huge topic in my personal life, perfectionism. Being an artist and musician, you start from a lack of mindset to begin with, right? When you go into that area, right, you have a lot of self-sabotaging, self-image and self-harming mindsets and beliefs about yourself. So I always struggled with perfectionism so much that, as you said, I self-sabotaged and I procrastinated so much when I started growing my businesses. And I always thought it's never good enough. Whatever I want to put out, it's not good enough. It has to be this way. It has to sound like this. It has to look like this. I have to look like this. I have to sound like this, right? And I found myself in not being able to put anything out there because I wanted it to be perfect. I had such a pedestal illusion kind of image of who I had to be good enough, to be heard and respected by other people. And it took many years actually to overcome that perfectionism. And as you just beautifully said, I started focusing on the joy. I started putting out my stuff whenever I had the highest level of joy of producing that thing. But I never gave up on perfectionism.